What up, what up, what up, Maddlebees? Today, we have a Q&A for you because we're not good at vlogging when other people are around.
Yeah, it honestly gets really hard and messes up our flow, so Q&A, here we go.
We asked on Madison's Instagram what questions you had, ask us anything. We picked some to throw in here, and you guys honestly really like these videos when we do them. We talk about things that otherwise we normally wouldn't, so here we go. Madison wants me to go first. One of the first questions I chose to answer, we answered almost all of them. There weren't very many that we skipped because there were repeat questions, so pretty much everybody's question got answered. Natalia asks, favorite hidden gem in San Antonio? I was going to say, actually, it's not technically San Antonio, right? Paradise Canyon?
What? We just went there. That's your favorite hidden gem?
I think that's pretty cool. I think that it's super unique. Yeah, I really, really like it. I couldn't think of anything else like it that I was so impressed by.
I think, to be completely honest, we've lived here for like 2 years, and more than a year that has been affected by COVID, so right. We don't get out much, but when we do, it's usually to eat. I really am stoked, always have been, about Vegan Avenue. Even though we haven't been there in a while, they just have a really extensive option for like a plant-based vegan place.
And it's not talked about a lot. Like, it doesn't have a lot of hype.
Yeah, so that's probably my like little hidden gem in San Antonio that I really enjoy. My question that someone asked is middle edge or corner brownie piece. I am a big foodie, I love to eat. And the answer to this question is, why not just eat all of the brownie? Guys, I have a huge sweet tooth, so when it comes to picking the middle edge or the corner, I just eat the whole dang thing. Brownies, cookies, you name it, I'll eat it.
I think I don't really have much of a preference because I'm not really a sweets person.
Yeah.
But I eat any part of the brownie. I wouldn't like turn my nose up at any part of it.
Yeah, that's actually such a like interesting question because I feel like people just kind of eat sweets, or maybe they're very specific about eating a corner or edge.
Also, today, you guys, I can't really turn the camera around. Here, I'll do this. Today, we have a live studio audience. It's Brittany. And she is telling us that everybody does absolutely not eat every part of the brownie.
The best part of the brownie is the middle.
The middle.
The middle.
Okay, there you have it from our audience.
I'm sure our live studio audience will also have an opinion about this one, but it is, how do you cope with the political climate of Texas? I feel like I get this question a lot, and it's not really the political climate of Texas that I personally have a regular interaction with, but I guess what people think of as the political climate of Texas is very much embodied by my family. I just generally interact with it by saying what I believe and why. I find that a lot of people's political opinions are not well informed, and mine, I believe, very much are. And I just kind of use that to my advantage. And most of the time when I get into an in-depth discussion about anything politics related, the opposite person will, at the end of the conversation, admit that their opinion was based in not much. I've done that recently with my mom, recently with my aunt. My dad is not much for a heated discussion, but yeah, mostly it's just being able to justify your positions is what it comes down to, and I think I do that pretty well.
Excellent.
What about you?
Also, if I look like I'm about to cry, it's because we have all of these lights on us right now that are insane. I can feel my eyes watering up, and I just woke up like 10 minutes ago and am just struggling right now. So
it just looks much better in the past when we film in this position, because I love this spot, but the light is coming from behind us, so if we don't have light here, then we look not good.
Yeah.
And I really like how this looks right now, so I think it's good. Brittany, how do you deal with the political climate of Texas?
Usually when the political climate comes up, I'm in a position of not power, like clinicals, so I kind of just have to shut up and be like, oh, they're so stupid. Like, I had a rotation and it was in a very small town, and I just had to bite my tongue a lot of the times and hope they didn't find out that I wasn't conservative.
What about you?
The political climate in Texas gets very heated very quickly. I've always been of the idea of hitting people where it hurts. There's only so much you can do arguing people down, but I really like to make sure I get out there for local elections, which affect us a lot more. When it comes to voting locally versus like everyone will get out for the presidential election and vote because they hear more about it than local elections. Yeah, that's that's how I like to handle it, because otherwise, yeah, people get a little crazy down here.
We also have a blog of when we went and voted in our local election. Madison can link it up here if you want to go check that out. Next question, on to you.
Vote right, Abbott out.
The next question for me is city or country?
I know you were saying like, oh, I don't know if I want to answer that one, but I think it's interesting because I feel like our perspectives have shifted a little bit recently, and I thought it would be interesting to talk about.
Yeah, our perspectives are really interesting in that we want to live in the city, but we also want the land, a little bit of living in the country. We've gotten really into growing our own food and the sustainability, like a homestead and having animals and that kind of stuff. And I feel like when you live in the city, you give up some of that, right? But the other thing is we really appreciate being in the city because the resources are everywhere. There's a grocery store 8 minutes away from us versus if you live out in the sticks, you might not have that. So it's like we kind of want the best of both worlds.
Yeah. I think for me, it's more like I've been putting off for years, like getting more involved in local, not only politics, but just like community in general. And I find that there's a lot less of that out in the country. Mm-hmm. And I really wanted to live near a city for that reason. And also like the resources like you're talking about. Also access to like plant-based restaurants. You don't get that out in the country. So I definitely see the benefits of both of them. But I think for me, country means 30 to 45 minutes out of the city. Never more than that would I be interested in.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, living in Texas, what she was saying about plant-based restaurants, if you like live in the country, then it's like your options literally go from like having plant-based restaurants and stuff like that to literally barbecue and steak. Those are your options. Right. So,
well, speaking of city versus country, animals, homesteading, all that kind of stuff, one of the questions was, would you ever get more animal friends or expand the homestead? And again, something we've been talking about a lot more. Currently where we live, there's really not. Our yard does not have a capacity for more animals. If it did, I would love to have a few more chickens, but really it wouldn't be comfortable if we had that, you know? Plus, they've been so much more work than we really expected, and we're not ready for more chickens at this current time.
Yeah.
So as long as we live here, we won't be getting any more animals. As many of you know, we've hinted at many times, we do hope to move within the next year. And if that comes to fruition, which is also up in the air because of the housing market. So yeah, if we move, I do have like hopes and dreams of having other animals and things like that, but where we currently live, we don't need any more animals.
So the next question is there an update on that neighbor with the nails in the tire? I was outside yesterday trying to cut the grass, and I mean, as we mentioned, it's a household of toxic masculinity, but there also is the guy has a wife, and she's not the best or the brightest either. But I was cutting the grass yesterday, and I look up, and she's standing there watching me, and I was like, oh, this is going to be bad. This is going to be bad.
We watched the footage back from the camera that we have that sees the whole cul-de-sac, and she literally walked to the middle and just stared at Madison until she realized.
Yeah, and the first question she actually asked me is, where'd your car go? And I told her the story about like how my car is like just no longer with us, Rip Diamante. But she just started asking me like, how are you doing? And then she also asked me like, are we still mad at them? And I was like, why would we be mad at you? And then she started going into the story about you know, how Shelbi went over there and said something to them that night where everyone was out in the cul-de-sac. And I was like, we're not mad, but that was super rude. Super awkward conversation. I was like, that was super rude that you all did that, and that's not cool, and I don't have any issues with y'all if y'all don't have any issues with us. And she never said anything about the nails in the tire, but it was interesting that she asked if we were mad, brought up that situation.
And your car.
Asked me about my car. It's like the conspiracy has only gotten deeper. And she also strategically did this when, like, he wasn't at home.
He had left, like, 5 minutes before she walked over to talk to you.
Yeah.
Which is so weird. There's some weird vibes going on in that house. Also, tell me in the comments if you guys would have been brave enough to, like, actually address what happened. Because Madison literally, like, brought up the problem and, like, said her feelings and, like, faced it head on. And I don't think I could do that.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it was super
I guess she
awkward.
asked if you were mad, so she kind of opened up the conversation to it, but
Yeah.
still, I just, like...
There was only so much dancing you could do around it when she was being direct, so it felt good to say my piece, because honestly, as neighbors, I'd kind of like for us all to look after one another.
And get along.
Like,
Right.
I don't want to feel awkward about, like, walking into my front yard and, like, seeing you. So it was nice to say something to her, but we'll see what happens. Because I also was like, yeah, I have no issues with you. And your husband's really not the best. I don't know. I said that. Maybe I shouldn't have. But.
Well, she told her that we have a problem with the letting the alarm go off, and she justified what he did.
Yes.
You didn't even tell them. Like, that's like the climax of the story. Madison, I was not out there for this conversation. I wish I was, because even telling the story secondhand, I'm telling it better than you.
Yeah, it was really easy for me to tell the story the first time, because I literally just came in and regurgitated everything. But when we sit down and do these story times, I freaking suck. Like, I'm much better at vlog style, but I do these because I know y'all love them. Anyway, yeah, she justified him having his car alarm go on and off. She's like, well, they were sitting close to his truck and he just doesn't trust them, and he thought that maybe they could have scratched it. And I was like, no, they were nowhere near your truck. There was no reason for that. You were disturbing me in my house, which is why my wife went to your house and told you something. It was a mess.
So, I mean, I don't know. It's a really weird situation because, like she said, he literally, the dude who did this, the man who set off his alarm and that I spoke to face to face, peeled out of it. He didn't just pull out of his driveway. He turned his music all the way up and peeled out of the street 5 minutes before she walked over. So, whatever's going on over there is probably not the healthiest.
Yeah.
But that's the update on the situation. It makes me feel like we're okay with her, but since she came clearly, like, separate of them, I don't know if they're okay with us.
That too. The other thing is, I thought she was gonna, have more sense about things and be like, I'm sorry that they did that. Like, that was really uncalled for, but it felt kind of weird too because she was justifying, like, him doing that.
Yeah.
That was weird.
And calling our other neighbors right beside us crazy, and that they thought he was gonna scratch his truck, and it's just like a whole mess of, like, there's a lot of drama prior to us even living here, and because we're trying to be cordial with everybody, we've gotten looped in to all of it.
Fun.
It's fine. I saw this question, which I thought was interesting since we semi-recently got married, but I know my answer to this and I'm curious about yours. It says, what was your dream wedding when you first got together? And I also find this to be really interesting because all of my lesbian friends say they never had a dream wedding. They never dreamt of a wedding, and I never did either. I never had any ideal wedding in my head or anything at all. I was wondering if you did.
No, I never had an ideal wedding. I just knew that my wedding wasn't going to be obnoxiously expensive. In that sense, I knew I wanted it to be simple because I knew I didn't want it to be obnoxiously, like, expensive.
We spent about, I think, somewhere between 5 and 7, and that still feels like that was literally a night of our lives. That is crazy.
I mean, another thing is it's weird because it's a party for yourself, and I just would never throw a party, I don't know, like that expensive for, like, other people to fucking eat. I'm like, you shouldn't be eating this good to celebrate me. I should be the one eating good.
I think our wedding was honestly, like, not too over the top, but not too simple, not too I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. But the answer to the question is I never had a dream scenario for my wedding at all.
Yeah. The next question is, Madison, will you do any videos about investing? The answer to that specifically for the vlog channel is no, because it's more vlog Q&A style. And then honestly, what my goal would be is to get another upload going weekly, consistently on this channel. And
This channel? Oh, you mean 2 vlogs a week. I was like, what is going on? Okay, I know what you mean.
Yeah, so 2 vlogs a week would be ideal. We had kind of kicked around starting another series after we finished our decluttering series that we just never got around to. It's pretty time consuming, guys. Like, this is Shelby was talking to me the other day, and she's like, so are you still liking doing like the vlog and everything around it? And I was like, yeah, but it's more time consuming than like a part-time job. Every weekend I know I have to be on it, videoing something. During the week I'm editing. So as far as like, I know at one point I had kicked around the idea of starting a whole different channel for like sustainable investing options. I just can't do all that and keep my 9 to 5. That's where I'm at with that.
My hope was that you would start another like piece of content with someone else that could help you take down that workload. But it's so hard to depend on somebody else, or just like to find someone that matches your energy, your work ethic, your like what you want to create. And you know, we just haven't really found said person yet, so
yeah, so
there's that. This other question is pretty general, but I get these questions so often about where would you move if you could live anywhere else, and specific places like would you ever move here. So I thought I would just throw this one in there because it got asked several times. Would you ever move to Seattle or the Pacific Northwest in general? And the answer is no. Unfortunately.
What? I thought your answer would be yes.
When would we move? Why, if we would, why haven't we?
We haven't because Shelby is very family oriented.
Yeah, I don't really want to move away from my family. That doesn't feel, it's just not my thing. I've thought about it for years, and I think when I was younger, I thought I was down, and I could never convince Madison to move because of financial reasons and such. And now I feel like the further we've gotten out from like my early 20s, the more I've like settled, and I don't think I would ever move that far away.
But I mean, Texas has got to get it together, guys. Like freaking going to Portland and being able to take a bus or a tram or whatever, like there's public transportation is immaculate, and we basically have all the space and we could be doing stuff, but we'd rather sit in a car for 30 minutes to get anywhere.
Yeah,
at least 30 minutes.
I mean, all the aspects of the Pacific Northwest, specifically Portland, I love. I even love Vancouver. I don't think I'd ever move to Seattle. I don't really like Seattle that much. But Portland, Vancouver, San Francisco, I know people don't technically consider that Pacific Northwest, but I love San Francisco. I love everything they have to offer. And in a perfect world where I wasn't leaving my whole life I've already built here behind, then yes. But the older I get, I guess the more stupid and sentimental I get. So probably not going to happen.
It's not stupid. It's just sentimental. Everybody values different things.
Yeah, I think I definitely have noticed as my age changes, so do my values. And I think, you know, that's just part of growing up. Okay, so Kyle has been a fan of not just your channel, but my channel for many years, and he asked several questions. We're gonna pick one that we like the best.
This one's for you, boo. The question that we chose is, what did y'all heal in each other? For me, that was Shelby being able to help me not run from things emotionally. Yeah, like when I felt weird and I felt like running and I felt like I couldn't talk to her, there's been a lot of learning and growth that I had to go through with being able to, you know, have a conversation, talk about your feelings. You good?
Well, I don't think it was just with me. Like, it's not just me. You ran away from your problems with people in your life other than just me.
Okay, I did. And you helped me with that a lot.
I definitely think that probably the thing that Madison literally saved me from would be not becoming the person who shall not be named. There's a person in my life that's like very not, I wouldn't say she's not a good person, but she has very toxic traits. And I think that if Madison hadn't come into my life and like kind of checked me on the toxic traits of that person that I had absorbed, I would still have them. Like, I think Madison challenged me and making me think that I was able to control everything in my life and that I could talk to people and treat them however I wanted. Yeah, I think I definitely did that. Really, I was a pretty shitty person probably prior to our relationship. In terms of like relationships I was in, I definitely think that you fixed that for me.
And now we are better people because of one another. All right, guys, so I hope you all enjoyed the Q&A. We love you all, and we love to answer your questions. So when this does happen again,
make sure you follow Madison on Instagram. Here are our @s on Instagram.
There you go. This has been fun, guys. I know this isn't our regular vlog, but hopefully you all enjoy. Till next time, we will catch you next Saturday. Catch you later, Maddlebees. Bro, why can you never get this right?
Why can't you?